There's been a lot of discussion with regard to the correct way to eat a scone, whether you put cream on it and then the jam, or jam and then the cream, or in my opinion, lots and lots of butter and then a tiny bit of jam and then lots and lots of clotted cream. And it's the clotted cream that's the important factor. And I've discovered that outside the UK, clotted cream is really hard to get hold of. And when you can get hold of it, it's super expensive. Now that won't do. So for those of you who are having a hard time getting hold of clotted cream, I thought I'd look up how to make some and have a go myself. And if it works, I'll share it with you. If not, well, I'll waste the ingredients, and so you don't have to. So anyway, the first thing with clotted cream is that you need lots and lots of double cream to make it happen. I've got the recipe from fearlessfresh.com, which was just the first recipe that came up when I searched for it. And the recipe calls for heavy cream. In the UK we'd refer to that as double cream, but it's essentially the same stuff. The first thing you need to do is preheat your oven to 80 degrees Celsius. For those of you who use gas marks, that's not even a fraction of gas mark 1, so it's a really low temperature. For those of you who use Fahrenheit, that's about 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, it's not very warm, not very hot at all, and it's really, the cream's just going to be in there for a long time. So what I've got here is 1 litre of double cream, and the recipe calls for popping it in a glass dish to a depth of about 2 inches and leaving it in the oven for about 12 hours. The return on that should be about half of whatever cream you put in there. You'll get half back in clotted cream, and then the rest of it is whey, which I understand you can dispose of or use in other things. I'll probably just throw it away. I know that's terribly wasteful, don't hate me. So all we need to do is get your double cream, get your glass dish, pour it in. Still going. And that's about 2 inches, leaving me with just enough for my coffee tomorrow. Right, and that's all really. So I've got a glass dish with 2 inches with cream, double cream in it, and I'm going to pop that in the oven and come back to it in 12 hours and see what happens. So wish me luck, I'll show you the results later. It's now been 12 hours since I put the dish with the cream in the oven. One thing I've learned about my oven in the process is that if it's left on for long enough, it'll switch itself off. So your oven might do the same, be careful of that. Right, so all I need to do now is take the cream out of the oven, see what's happened to it. It's really important that when you're taking it out of the oven that you're super careful to not agitate the cream, because the dish is still warm and it's mixed into 2 separate layers, or at least it should be. So you don't want those layers to mix themselves back up together, so take it out really carefully and be careful not to agitate it. So let's give it a go. Right, you can't see that just yet, but that's coming out nicely. So I'm going to place that on there just carefully. And I'll bring the camera over just so you can have a look. And there we have it. It's still warm from the oven, it's still nice and fresh looking, but there's a crusty layer that's separated on top, and if I give the dish a little bit of a nudge, you can see that it still looks quite liquid. So I'm going to leave it like that just for a moment and let it cool down a little bit, and once it's cooled down sufficiently I'm going to transfer it to the fridge where it'll stay for 12 hours and then we can start getting the cream off the top. I'll see you then. Right, the clotted cream, or what we hope will become clotted cream, has now been in the fridge for, it's been 10 hours really. It's supposed to be 12 according to the recipe, but I'm impatient. Just got back in from work and I want to know what's going to be underneath the lid. So, here we have it. Okay, I'm not sure how much that's visible from up there, but it's looking kind of yellowy from from the top, and it's still a little bit watery there. If I move it, it does wobble a bit. So the recipe calls for using a slotted spoon to carefully scoop the stuff on top from the watery stuff that it's floating on. So wish me luck, we'll give it a go. Okay, so it's actually quite thick around the edges. It's putting up a little bit of resistance as I try and push the spoon in, but equally I'm going to try and be careful and try not to mix the layers. There's actually a surprising amount of this underneath. Oh, there's the watery stuff. Okay, so slipping the spoon underneath and lifting, and let's see what we get. Wow. Okay, you see there's quite a thick layer on top there. So let's dump that in the bowl. And go in again. So slipping the spoon underneath and lifting gently, letting some of the liquid drain out from underneath it. We don't want that. And back in again. Can't wait to taste this. Okay. Again, I don't know if you can see that there. You can see how the top's got a bit yellow. It's kind of got that nice yellow crust that you expect on clotted cream, and that's sat on the top now. Okay. So I think that's pretty much the lot. We've actually got a fair bit there. From what I pulled out of the fridge before, it was looking like there was only a thin layer of what will become clotted cream on top, and it seemed like the rest of it was just liquid underneath. There's actually a whole loads more than I thought there was going to be on first examination. So I was just trying to skim the last few bits just in case. But no, I think we've got it all. It's lifted off as a fairly clean strip. So I've done that in there. We don't want the slotted spoon anymore. Yeah. Right. So this is what we've got left. So the recipe calls for just mixing it in until it's smooth. So we'll get that out of the way. Right. I'm actually wondering if I've gone a little bit too far with the heating here. It's it'll be fine. It's just come out of the fridge, so maybe it's a little bit stiff because of that. But I have a feeling that once it gets to room temperature, it will probably loosen up a little bit and gets a little bit more runny, kind of almost solid consistency that you expect from clotted cream. Well, this really is looking like the real deal here. So anyway, I could probably make it a little bit smoother right this moment, but at this stage I really want to dive in and taste it. Okay, moment of truth. Texture wise, it needs to be a little bit smoother, but flavour wise, that's clotted cream. I think we have a success here, people. Okay, I've been working the clotted cream for a while now because of the grainy texture, just to see whether it would improve it with a little bit more work, and I'm happy to say that it has. It's been about 10 minutes, 15 minutes since I popped it into this bowl, and I've been working it, mixing it, and just trying to get all those lumps out. And with the work and with the, I'm presuming, the cream raising a little bit more towards room temperature, the consistency is now pretty much somewhere around about soft butter. Again, I'm not sure how much of that you can see, but that's a marked improvement from what we had before. And I'm happy to declare that what we have here is clotted cream. I'm going to pop this in some dishes and put it in the fridge just to see if we get the crust on it. Okay, got some nice little empty dishes here, and we'll check again later and see what happens. But I'm pretty confident, and I'm looking forward to putting these on some scones after I put the butter on, after I put the jam on, because that's the proper way to do it, no matter what you might think. Okay. Anyway, thanks very much for watching.